Trying to connect, and there we are. Hello again, everybody. I'm back. And it's time once again for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Let's play 2 today, shall we? Let me grab my coffee. We'll get this one going. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. Okay, we're going to fire it up here. Another game from April 23rd, 1966. The Minnesota Twins at the California Angels. This was the second game of a 3-game series. Minnesota comes in with a 6-1 record. As we saw earlier today, Cleveland, in beating Boston, improved to 6-1, so they're now in a tie with Minnesota for first place. California comes in with a 3-5 mark. And it will be the right-hander Mudcat Grant on the mound for the Twins. Lefty Marcelino Lopez takes the hill for the Angels. Another thing I forgot to mention in this earlier game when naming Gary Bell the player of the game, not only did he pitch a 4-hit shutout, he drove in 2 of the 3 runs. So yes, he's clearly the player of the game, both on the mound and at the plate. So Mudcat, a fine season, 3.25 in 35 starts. Lopez, 3.93 in 32 starts. And we'll get to the starting lineups here in just a second. For Minnesota, Zoilo Versailles will be at shortstop hitting leadoff. Tony Oliva in right field. Bob Allison gets the start in left field today. He'll bat third. Harmon Killebrew is in the cleanup spot at third base. Andy Costco gets a start in center field, of all things, and he bats fifth. Don Mincher's at first base. Earl Batty, the catcher, hits seventh. Bernie Allen, the second baseman, and Grant batting ninth. For California, it will be Jose Cardenal leading off in center field. Jim Fregosi at shortstop. Bobby Knopp at second base. Norm Siebert in the cleanup spot at first base. Bob Buck Rogers does the catching and bats fifth. Jackie Warner's in right field. Rick Reichardt's in left field. Paul Shaw at third base. And Lopez, the pitcher, hits ninth. And with that, we're about ready to roll him here. New Year's Eve day, just about 4:20 here in Spokane, Washington. And I do not plan to partake as I'm still getting over the bronchial condition, although I'm happy to report I'm doing much better than I was on Friday. And you're damn right, Franklin. Let's play 2. And welcome back. In fact, in that Cleveland game, was that the first game? That was a one of a one-game series. Indians at Red Sox. So I'm guessing there was either a rainout or else that was a makeup game of a previous rainout. Anyway, this is the second of a 3-game. So we're about ready to roll him here. Marcelino Lopez has completed his warm-ups as Zoilo Versailles steps in from the right side. Lopez, the lefty, gets his sign from Rogers. Here's the windup, and the first pitch of the game is a 4-7 to the right-hander. That's a single to 12, but on a 20, that line drive is going to find the glove of Jim Fregosi, the shortstop, and there's one down. Tony Oliva, who's been batting third all season so far, moved up to the 2 spot today. The lefty winds and deals. Here's the pitch. It's a 4-10, a fly to right field. That's going to be playable for Warner, who's got it. And there's one down. Just getting underway here. Here's Bob Allison now. Lopez, the windup. Pitch to Bob is a 5-7 to the right. He swung on and missed strike 3. Wow, nasty breaking ball. Allison right over the top of it. 1-2-3 go the Twins. And at the end of half, it is Minnesota 0, California coming to bat. Just getting started here, so spend part of your New Year's Eve with me. I certainly do appreciate it. Something to while away the time as we wait for the new year to kick in, and I have no illusions of making it till midnight. I rarely do. I did last year, but that was a kind of freak conditions. Okay, here's the Angels coming to bat now. Mudcat's ready to work. Jose Cardinal will lead things off. Grant the sign from batting. The windup. The pitch to Cardinal is a 6-6 fly to center field. Costco drifts over. He's got it. And there's one down. And here's Jim Fregosi, right-handed hitting shortstop. Mudcat into the windup. The pitch to Fregosi is a 3-5 to the righty. That's going to be a base hit into left field for Fregosi. So Jim Fregosi with a 1-out single. Asterisk 16. Mudcat a -1. Batty is 0, so a 15 not held. He will have to be held on. That would make him a 1-13. And here's Knopp. Knopp kind of surprising to me, a D hit and run. And you would think a bat handler like Knopp would have been a little bit better at the hit and run. At least I would have thought that. But that apparently is not the case. So he's going to hit away. From the stretch, Mudcat's pitch is a 5-3 grounder to the pitcher X. Grant's a 3-E-17. So here's the play. On a 10, it's the error range. An E-17. On the roll of an 8, he makes the ground ball A double play. How about that? So Mudcat down to Versailles, to Mincher. And that is a fine play. Double play started by Mudcat Grant. That'll retire the side. So no runs, a hit, nobody left. And we're scoreless after an inning. You know, while I was in between games, I was looking online trying to find something about the missed pitch, batter must steal home on the squeeze play, and I could find absolutely nothing about that. It just says roll 20 sided for steal results. So I'm thinking I should have used his first steal number rather than his second, although he would have been out either way, so it wouldn't have mattered as far as that particular game goes. But the best I can discern the rule, since he's already running on the squeeze play, unless he was held on, which nobody's going to hold anybody on third base, it would be the first steal number. And I'm surprised I couldn't find anything on that. I looked and looked. I spent about 15 minutes looking at that. It just is not clear at all. It's clear on the hit and run, but not on the squeeze play. So here's Killebrew to lead things off in the second inning. Lopez, the windup. The pitch to Harmon is a 4-8, base hit up the middle. So Killebrew aboard with a leadoff single. And here's Costco. Andy Costco getting a rare start. Let's look at his numbers. He only had 158 at bats that year, batted .222, a pair of home runs. Rather unremarkable season for Costco, who did have a little pop, but not really on this card. So it's Lopez from the stretch. Pitch to Costco on a 3-7, a single to 13, but that line drive is right into the glove of Fregosi, and Fregosi does it again, L6. And there's one down. And here's Mincher. Mincher lefty on lefty here. If I can hold the dice, that would be helpful. From the stretch, pitch to Don Mincher is a 5-8. Grounder to short, that's going to be a force play. Fregosi has it, turns and throws to Knopp, and that's it. Killebrew is forced, 2 down. Mincher to first. And here's Earl Batty. Batty, the heart and soul of the mid-60s Twins teams. The pitch from Lopez, a 1-7. It's a tapper to short. Fregosi again. Throws him out, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, 1 left. And we are still scoreless as we move along to the bottom of the second. And here's the Mudcat now. I can still remember that earlier in the first week of the season, the duel between Mudcat Grant and Catfish Hunter. So Seaburn will lead it off for California as Grant goes into his windup. The pitch to Seaburn, a 2-7 against the right-hander. He draws the walk. So a leadoff walk here to Norm Seaburn to start off the second. And here's Bob Rogers, switch-hitting catcher, batting left. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-6 to the left-hander. Grounder to second. That's going to be 2. Allen has it. 2 Versailles to first, double play. A little speck of something fell on the score sheet, excuse me. Here's Jackie Warner, nobody on, 2 down. The pitch from Grant, a 3-11. High fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Allison to the track. It's gone. Home run, Jackie Warner. And the Angels take a 1-0 lead here in the second. Let's take a look at that again. 3-11 against a righty. Homer to 15. The roll is an 11. And I know Warner has at least a home run. Let's see how many that is for him. That's his 4th home run of the season, if you can believe that. He had 7 homers and 123 at-bats, so he didn't play much. He certainly played quite a bit in the early going so far. 2 down now, and here's Reichart. The windup and the pitch to Rick, a 2-10, and he hits him. Oh, holy crap. After giving up the homer, Grant responds by drilling Reichart. Maybe he felt that the Angel batters are leaning out over the plate a little bit too much. I don't know. But for whatever reason, he's drilled, and he's on first base with 2 away, and here's Paul Shaw now. From the stretch, the pitch to Shaw is a 2-5, tapper down to second. That's Allen. He's going to go the short way to Versailles. And that will retire the side. But the Angels pick up a run. Could have been 2 if not for that fine double play. And after 2 complete, they lead at 1-0. And welcome Bearsden. Received 69, had to get it to old cards. Oh my goodness, you know, my first card set was the old 69 set, and I can't find it. I looked for it, a couple weeks ago. I could find all of my 2-sided sets, which goes back to the 1971 cards, but I had the 69 and the 70 basic version only, and I cannot find them. And I had to move in April, so anytime you move, there's going to be some confusion, as you all probably know. And you're darn right, Franklin. The ump did give him a warning there. He says, I'm not going to have any of that today. So Bernie Allen will lead things off for Minnesota here in the third. He's a left-handed hitter, so it's lefty on lefty here. As Lopez comes set, the windup, the pitch to Allen on a 2-6 is a tapper down to first. That's going to be Seaburn. He'll underhand it to Lopez covering, and there's 1 down. Grant, a right-handed batter, 3 hitters card. The left-hander delivers a 6-6 fly to right field. That's going to be playable for Warner, who makes the catch. And quickly, we have 2 away in the third. And here's Zoilo, 0 for 1. Lopez, the windup. The pitch to Zoilo, a 2-5. Grounder to second base. Easy play for Knopp. Sidearm throw to Seaburn. 1, 2, 3 go the Twins. And after 2.5, it's Angels 1, Twins nothing. Oh, and your 69 was the replica. Yeah, I had the original deal, and it was a darker font than the 1970 set. I looked them up on eBay. There's a couple for sale. You can see it quite clearly on there, even the difference in the font between the 69 and the 70 sets. I know I wouldn't have gotten rid of them. They're somewhere, but I don't know where. And Lopez will be leading it off for California, and then the top of the order. Lopez, a left-handed pitcher, but he bats right. Grant gets his sign from batting now. Here's the pitch to Lopez on a 3-4. Swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Marcelino, and there's 1 away. Here's Jose Cardinal now. 0 for 1. Mudcat Grant with the pitch. A 3-9 against the righty. Pops him up. That's going to be Allen. He's got it. And there's 2 down. So pop up to second base. 2 away. And here's Jim Fregosi. Mudcat with the windup. The pitch is a 5-10. Fly to left field shallow. In comes Allison. Still coming. Finally does catch up with it. And the side is retired. So 1, 2, 3 inning for Mudcat, and after 3 complete, it's 1-0 California. Just getting settled in here on a Let's Play 2 New Year's Eve day. You know, I entertained thoughts briefly of doing a Strat-O-Thon or a Stream-A-Thon, playing into the new year. But then I realized reality set in, and I realized that that's something I might have done 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Well, I don't think that would be realistic at my age. As I say, I don't even stay up that late anymore. And welcome back, Kurt. It could be. We've got 1 through 3. That's for damn sure. And Minnesota will send Oliva, Allison, and Killebrew up here in the 4th inning, trailing by a run. Lopez, the windup. Pitch to Tony Oliva's a 6-7, a grounder to second base X. That's Knopp. About as good as you can be down there at a 1E17. And here's the play. On a 14, he makes the play. No surprise there. A Gold Glove caliber second baseman doing what great second basemen do. They make all the routine plays as well as some of the difficult ones. And here's Allison now. Lopez, the windup and the pitch. That's a 6-6 to the right-hander. A fly ball to right field. That's playable for Warner. He's there, and there's quickly 2 down. And both pitchers humming along. Grant got too much of the plate to Warner, who hit it out of the park. But other than that, both pitchers in command here so far. And here's Killebrew with 2 down. Lopez, the windup on the pitch on a 1-8. He walks him. So a 2-out walk to Harmon Killebrew. And that'll bring up Costco. Costco 0 for 1 from the stretch man. Lopez's pitch is a 6-8, swung on and missed strike 3. How about that? No runs, no hits, 1 left. And Marcelino Lopez has a 1-hitter through 4. Mudcat Grant surrendered only 2 hits. However, one of them was a home run. And that is all of your scoring to this point. It will be Knopp, Seaburn, and Rogers for the Angels. And Mudcat, let's get that out of my way. Mudcat, ready to work to Knopp. The windup, here's the pitch on a 3-6. He popped him up. That's going to be Versailles making the catch, and there's one down. Here's Seaburn now. Seaburn walked his first time up. Grant winds and deals a 3-10. He walks him. So that's twice he's walked Seaburn. Do you think he's pitching around Seaburn? I don't know. Seaburn hit 247 with 5 home runs. He did have a 366 on base, largely due to his ability to draw a walk. He got 63 walks to 61 strikeouts. So Seaburn, apparently, if nothing else, had a good eye, good plate discipline. And with one out, Bob Rogers will be the hitter. Rogers bounced into a double play his first time up. Now from the stretch, Grant delivers on a 3-5. That's a grounder to first. Mincher has it. Down to Versailles, back to Mincher. It's the old 3-6-3, and the side is retired. Let's look at that again. 3-5, ground ball to first base A. Sure enough, no runs, no hits, no one left on. And after 4 complete, it's a 1-0 pitcher's duel. And of course, when that happens, as you know, the game tends to move rather briskly. We're already through 4 innings here. But there's only been 3 hits in the ball game, so it figures, doesn't it? And it will be Mincher, Batty, and Allen due for the Twins. As we get ready to go to the 5th, I'm going to pause for a moment and have a little bit of coffee. This was from last year in the Snowbird adventure, in which I stayed up till midnight. The hard to see, I know, without spilling the coffee. The Morro Bay coffee mug. Anyway, it's good coffee. That's the important thing. I don't really give a damn what mug it's in. Okay, it's Mincher, Batty, and Allen for the Twins. Lopez winds up on a 3-8 against the lefty. That's a high fly ball, a deep right field. Warner back at the track. It's gone. Home run Mincher, and the game is tied. Let's take a second look. 3-8 against the lefty to 17, and the roll is a 6. And for Don Mincher, that's his 4th home run of the season. And we got a tie ball game. So here's Batty now, all tied up at 1. Lopez the windup, the pitch, a 2-7 against the lefty. He popped him up. Knopp's got it. Pop up to second, and there's one down. And that'll bring up Bernie Allen, the left-handed hitting second baseman, 0 for 1. Left on left as Lopez comes to the plate, 111, a fly ball to center field. Cardinal backing up a bit, and he's got it for the out. And with 2 down, that'll bring up the pitcher, Mudcat Grant, right-handed batter. Lopez the windup on a 1-6, a grounder to short. Fregosi on a couple of hops, throws him out. And that will do it. But the Twins tie it on Don Mincher's home run. And at the end of 4.5, we have a 1-1 tie. Both runs on home runs, interestingly. And Grant's throwing his warm-ups, getting ready to work in the bottom of the 5th. And Franklin, normally after lunch, I cut off the coffee and go to tea because it's been keeping me up. But I'm making an exception on New Year's. Plus, I felt that I needed the extra kick to get a second game in here. It's already dark in Spokane at 4:40 p.m. I just can never get used to that. I grew up in Southern California. It stays late, I don't know, about an hour later down there. But here in the Pacific Northwest, it gets dark awfully early in the winter. Not as bad as Alaska, of course. Okay, the Angels ready to bat here in the bottom of the fifth. Grant's ready to work. It'll be Jackie Warner followed by Rick Reichard. And here's the windup for the pitch to Jackie Warner. It's a 2-4, swung on and missed strike three. So Warner, who homered in his first at-bat, goes down swinging this time, and that'll bring up Reichard. Reichard was drilled by a Mudcat Grant fastball in the second inning. Here's the windup on the pitch on a 3-4, swung on and missed strike three. So Grant may have backed Reichard off the plate a little bit with his mind games. And he gets him on an outside corner. So you never know. It's all part of the cat and mouse, right? And here's Shaw with two away. The pitch, a 1-7. That's a double to 9, but that's playable in center for Costco, who makes the catch. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Mudcat. After 5 complete, it's a 1-1 tie. And absolutely, Kurt, they are getting longer. Isn't it December 21st, the winter solstice? And I'm all for the days getting longer. I'm a spring and summer guy myself. Well, you guys are all baseball fans. So, I mean, aren't all baseball fans lovers of spring when you get right down to it? The green, the smell of the grass, every team feels like they can go 162-0, and oh yeah, it's just wonderful. Just wonderful. It's the best. Okay, the Twins will send up the top of the order in the 6th inning. Versailles, followed by Oliva and Allison. Lopez and S6. Let's look at Mudcat. He's an S8. He was a complete game thrower, that Mudcat. Lopez and S6, this will be his first inning of possible fatigue. Versailles will lead things off. Here's the windup. The pitch to Zoilo at 2-10. That's a grounder down to third. That's going to be Shaw. He scoops it up and throws him out. One down. And Tony Oliva, 0 for 2. Here's the pitch to Tony. 2-6. He pops him up. Seburn's got it. And gloves it for the out. And here's Bob Allison now. Bob's 0 for 2. Lopez, the windup. Pitch now to Allison, a 3-3 against the lefty is a fly ball to center field. That's going to be playable for Cardinal, who makes the catch. 1-2-3 go the Twins. And we're still locked in a 1-1 pitchers duel. And I'm reading Kurt's comment now, and how cool is that, Kurt? Kurt, born on the day that Mickey Mantle hit the longest measured home run, 4/17/53. So you're about 3 years older than me. The way these pitchers are going, I have no choice but to let Lopez hit here, a right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. It's a 4-11 to the righty. Ground ball down to third base. Killebrew has it. Throws to first in time, and there's one down. And here's Jose Cardinal now. Jose is 0 for 2. Mudcat into the windup. The pitch is a 6-12 to the righty. That's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Don Mincher. He's a 3E12. Here's the roll on the play on an 18. Mincher stabs it, flips to Grant covering, and there's 2 down. And here's Fregosi with 2 away. Jim's 1 for 2. Grant the windup. Pitch to Fregosi on a 2-10. That's ripped into the left center gap. Here goes Fregosi. He's rounding. He's going to go into second with a stand-up double. Holy cow, the fans cheering that one, and he's into second base, standing with a 2-out double. 210 to 17. The roll was a 12. And that'll bring up Knopp. Bobby's 0 for 2. And here's the pitch from Grant. A 5-8 to the righty. Grounder to third. That's Killebrew. He's got it and throws him out. So Killebrew busy down there this inning. No runs to hit, a man left. And after 6 complete, we're all locked up at 1 apiece. Chuck Stobbs threw it up. You know, I used to know that. I forgot all about that. I should know that, but I'm sure I did at one time, but I forgot. Age-appropriate memory. So we got a good one here. It's a 1-1 deadlock going into the 7th inning, and this is when things start getting intense. Lopez an S6, as far as endurance goes, that is. And he'll be facing Killebrew, Costco, and Mincher here in the 7th. And here's the pitch to Killebrew. It's a 4-10 to the right-hander. Fly to center, shallow. Cardinal coming in, still coming. Finally does catch up with it and makes the catch for the out. And with 1 down, it will be Andy Costco. Costco's 0 for 2. The windup, the pitch, a 1-3, pops him up. Shaw calling, drifting into foul territory and puts it away for the out. And here's Don Mincher. We know what Mincher's done, right? He's 1 for 2 with a home run. The only twin run to this point. Lopez, the first pitch is outside for a ball. Apparently pitching carefully to Mincher. Now he's set. The windup. His next delivery to Don Mincher on a 3-8. High fly ball to right field. Way, way back and gone. And can you believe it? Mincher's done it again. Mincher with his 2nd home run of the game. Back-to-back for Mincher. And it's 2-1 Minnesota. And there's some activity now in the California bullpen. Jack Sanford and Ed Sukla getting loose. In fact, I've got to find Sukla's card. And by that I mean it's a computer-only card printed from the Windows game. And I'm going to go ahead and pull him up on my game so I can get a better look at this card. He must not have been with the team all year. That's interesting. Well, doesn't that just figure, right? Bear with me, guys. I get down these rabbit holes and then I just have to know. What's the story with this Ed Sukla? He was only with California. Why am I not seeing him? There he is. Okay, he's an extreme backwards righty, so he likely will not see any action against the Twins lineup in a close game. But he's going to warm up beside Sanford anyway. Yeah, exactly, Kurt. They're tied for first now. And with 2 away, here's Batty. Lopez the pitch on a 3-7, a grounder to short. That'll be Fregosi to make the play, and that will retire the side. But a big run. Both Minnesota runs provided by Don Mincher home runs. And they lead it 2-1. And it will be Seaburn, Rogers, and Warner for the Angels in the bottom of the 7th. Grant gets his sign now from Batty. Here's the windup and the pitch to Seaburn. A 2-10 against the righty. Foul ball behind the plate. That's Batty. He's there to make the catch, and there's one down. And here's Bob Rogers. Switch hitting catcher batting left. The windup. The pitch of 4-7. It's a base hit into right for Rogers. So Rogers with a 1-out single, and the tying run is aboard here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rogers, no threat to steal, although he is a pretty decent runner for a catcher. And here's Jackie Warner, his home run, responsible for the only Angel run so far. As Grant comes set from the stretch now, the pitch to Warner on a 6-7, that's a grounder to second base X, that's Allen. He's a 3E22. This could be 2. On a 1, no, he can't get to it. It's a single with a 2-base advance. Oh my, that would have been a tough play for anyone. And the Angels are in business as Rogers scoots into third. And they've got runners on the corners and 1 away. Warner, no steal rating whatsoever. He can't steal. And Rick Reichard will be the hitter. And now with 2 hits in the 7th, no, I take that back. Grant is an S8, so he's not in any danger of fatigue. But be that as it may, somebody's going to be throwing in the Minnesota pen. And it's going to be Jim Perry, the righty, Jim Merritt, the left-hander. Runners at the corners, no threat to steal with a 1-run lead. Minnesota's going to be playing the infield in here. And here's Reichart from the stretch. That's a 5-4 to the right-hander. Ground ball to third base X. Remember, the infield is in. Killebrew's a 4E24. Here's the play. On a 19, it's a ground ball C. But with the infield in, they hold. So the infield in saves a run. Warner will take second. And how about that for a nifty play by Killebrew? And that's the second out of the inning. Well, they could put Shaw on and pitch to Lopez, but I kind of have a hunch that the Angels, having gotten 7 innings out of Lopez, might pinch hit for him. So they're going to go ahead and try to get Shaw. And here's the pitch to Mudcamp. On a 2-6, he walks him to load the bases. Oh my, dangerous waters there. And now should the Angels hit for Lopez? They trail by a run. Yeah, they almost have to. They got 7 innings out of an S6. The bases loaded and 2 down. They're going to send up a hitter. So Lopez did a fine job. 7 innings. He only allowed 3 hits, 2 runs. Unfortunately, 2 of the 3 hits were home runs. Unfortunately for him. He only walked one. Two strikeouts. You know, that might be his game of the season for Lopez. Sanford will come on. He pitched in this game in real life. Sanford, a right-hander, starter reliever. I remember Jack Sanford as a Giant myself. And against Grant, what are they going to do here? This looks like a good spot for the left-handed hitter, Willie Smith, who also played in this game in real life. So here's Willie Smith now, 2 down, bases loaded. Grant holding on tenuously to a 2-1 lead. And here's the pitch to Willie on a 4-10, struck him out. Oh my, how about that for drama? And Cardinal left standing in the on-deck circle. No runs, 2 hits. They leave the bases loaded. A golden opportunity wasted. And here comes Jack Sanford, taking over the pitching duties for California. I'll have a little sip of coffee and contemplate this box score so far. 3 runs in the game, all 3 on solo home runs for the Twins. A pair of home runs by Don Mincher. And for the Angels, a solo blast by Jackie Warner. For Mincher, by the way, that's his 4th and 5th home runs of the year, and with 5, he moves into a tie with many for the American League lead. And here's Bernie Allen to lead things off for the Twins in the 8th. And here's the pitch, a 3-9 against the righty. Comebacker, Sanford knocks it down, then picks it up. Over to Seaburn. 1-3, Allen is retired. And Grant's going to bat. Right-handed batter. 2-5, swung on and missed strike 3. And down he goes. And thank you, Kurt. Yeah, that's the Sanford I remember. Not from my own experience. I was 6 years old, but probably from Strat-O-Matic. In fact, I think he was in the comic book or whatever baseball magazine ad for the '62 season, one of the original Strat-O-Matic tabloid ads. I could be wrong, but there's something about that that seems familiar to me. Anyway, 2 down, and here's Versailles. Sanford with the pitch on a 5-6. It's a tapper down to third. That'll be Shaw. He makes the play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jack Sanford. Keeps it a nice, tight nail biter, 2-1. And as we move along to the bottom of the 8th, Grant now in his first inning of possible fatigue, an S8, and he'll be facing the top of the Angel lineup, Cardinal, Fregosi, and Knopp. Cardinal standing in now from the right side. Mudcat the windup. Pitch to Jose, a 3-5. He pops him up. Versailles is there and makes the catch, 1 down. And I did this to help me keep track of the outs earlier. You guys will recognize that. It's from the game board. I made a photocopy. Well, I couldn't fit the whole thing on this rather small desk. But as you regulars know, I have on occasion lost track of the outs. And I thought, well, that's because I don't have that thing to that we used when we played, you know, when we were kids. Okay, I've been playing the computer game for like 25 years now, so as most of you know that too, this replay was my first foray back into cards and dice since the 2003 tournament in Seattle. And here's Fregosi now with one down. The pitch to Jim is a 5-12, grounder to first base X. That's Mincher. Mincher seems to be doing it all today. He's a 3E12. Here's the play on a 4. He can't get it. He knocks it down, but he's got no play. And that'll be ruled a base hit. So a one-out single for Fregosi. The tying run is aboard. He's an asterisk 16, -1 for the Grant-Batty combo, 15. He will be held on. And that will make him a 1-13. That's 65%. And it's pretty tempting, that being the tying run. On the bottom of the 8th, one down. Yes, it is very tempting. He's going to try for the lead. Call me crazy. 2 through 5 and 12. It's a 10. He does not get the lead. So Knopp will hit away. Here's Mudcat's next pitch from the stretch to Bobby on a 6-4. It's catcher's card X. Batty, a splendid receiver, a 2E2. And here's the play. On a 17, it's a pass ball and a foul out. So Batty will be charged with a pass ball. Fregosi will take second on the play, and there's 2 down. So runner on second and 2 down, and here comes the cleanup man, Norm Seaburn. You think maybe put him on, but Rogers, a switch hitter, is on deck. So they're going to pitch to Seaburn. The pitch from Grant is a 2-10. Pops him up. It's a foul ball behind the plate. Batty drifting back now. Batty makes both of those plays the last 2 outs of the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left on. And after 8 complete, it's Minnesota 2, California 1. Sanford will come back out to begin his second inning of work as we move to the 9th inning. This game has gone very quickly. Well, that's what happens when you don't have a lot of base runners. Tony O to lead it off. Bob Allison on deck. Here's the pitch from Sanford. A 3-5, base hit into right field. Oliva's on with a leadoff single. Oliva has speed, an asterisk 15. Sanford is 0, as is, no, Rogers is a -2, excuse me. So Oliva would be a 13 not held. And they're going to not hold him. So Oliva not held, and here's Bob Allison. Allison started against the left-handed pitcher in left field. Who was their normal left fielder? Costco. Jimmy Hall, the regular center fielder. So what we're going to do here is Jimmy Hall's going to come on, bat for Allison. He'll stay in the game in center and move Costco as 4E5 over to left. So Hall will go to center, a 3E80. Costco, I assume, is the same in left. Yep, a 4E5. So his rating will remain the same. He just changes to left. And here's Jimmy Hall. Sanford from the stretch, pitch to the lefty. A 2-3, grounder to first base. Seaburn knocks it down. His only play is going to be to flip to Sanford covering, and Oliva will take second on the play. So Oliva in scoring position with 1 away, and here's Harmon. 1 for 2 with a walk. The pitch to Killebrew. A 4-9, grounder to third. Shaw's got it, looks the runner back and throws him out. And that will bring up Andy Costco. pitch to Costco, a 5-3, fly to left field, X. That's Reichart. He's a 3-9. As he drifts towards center, here's the play. On an 18, he makes the catch for the out. And I saw the dice pop there and jump a little bit. 7X, the side is retired. No runs, a hit, one left on. And it's 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Actually, what they should do now for defense, they should replace Costco with Nosek in center and move Hall to left. Nosek a 2+1 E7. So Hall's back in left, where he's a 2E8. Well, I'm going to have to make room for that. That's good enough. So defensive replacements for Minnesota as they're clinging to a 1-run lead here. And Mudcat Grant is going for the complete game. Who was their save leader that year if they got into a jam? That would be Al Worthington, who's tossing lightly in the Minnesota pen, just in case. But Mudcat's going to try to finish it. Rogers, Warner, and Reichart standing in his way. And I hear you, Franklin. The fingernails are long gone. Rogers standing in from the left side now. Mudcat gets his sign from Batty. Here's the windup on the pitch, a 4-10 to the left-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Mudcat reaching back for a little extra here in the 9th inning. And that's the first out. Here's Jackie Warner now. I'll say it one more time. His home run, responsible for the only California run today. He's 2 for 3. As Mudcat winds and delivers on a 1-4, fly to left field and deep, but that's going to hold up for Jimmy Hall, who makes the catch for the out. And the Angels are down to their last out, and it will be Rick Reichart. Reichart's got power. He could tie it with one swing, and here's the pitch from Grant. A 1-12, tapper down to second. That's going to do it. Allen has it. Throws across in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Mudcat, and that's the ball game. A nail biter, 2-1, in which home runs were responsible for all 3 runs. 3 solo homers. Grant all the way for the win. Lopez, the hard luck loser. Grant allowed 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-hitter for Grant. The 1 home run to Warner, his only undoing, his only flaw, I should say. He walked 3 and hit another. He struck out 3, 4, 5. So a fine performance by Grant. Sanford was flawless in his 2 innings of relief. Allowed nothing and struck out 1. So the Twins, 2 runs on only 3 hits. Can you believe that? No errors. The Angels, 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. And right, Franklin, who says solo homers don't hurt? Well, they certainly do in a game like this. Let's take a look at the pitching records now. Grant, with that win, improves to 2-1 on the season. Marcelino Lopez with the loss. That is his first decision. I know that's not his first start, but that's his first decision. He's 0-1. And that will do it here. As we bring it home in a little under an hour here on New Year's Eve, I want to wish each and every one of you a Happy New Year. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Tomorrow's game will be, what will it be? I've got it here somewhere. Los Angeles Dodgers at Chicago Cubs. That's Don Sutton and Bob Henley. Well, that'll be fun for me at least. Don Sutton, one of my all-time favorite players, and one of the very few players I ever had the opportunity to meet. So we'll bring that to you at about 2 p.m. Pacific time. That'll be the first game of 2024. Hey, that's fitting, isn't it? My old friend the Sut on the mound to open up 2024. Okay, I can live with that. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.